Well, I made the mistake of turning on the news, and I listened to some of Trump talking in front of the Department of Justice, spewing his goddamn lies, telling things about us, about Americans. I can't stand that man. And now I find out I have pneumonia, and I can't march tomorrow. Hold up the truth, warriors. Hold it up for me. I can't be with you.
Every new day in America feels like stepping into a brand new episode of a reality show that no one signed up for. Except this time, the host is back, and he's got even more executive power. Ever since Trump waltzed back into the Oval Office, life has taken on a surreal quality, like we're living inside a political fever dream. Prices are shooting up like they've got SpaceX funding. The world is watching us like a bad soap opera, and everyday Americans are left wondering what fresh chaos awaits today.
Minnesota Republicans just introduced a bill that would allow you to be arrested for speaking out against Donald Trump. It would literally put you in the insane category, where they could put you in a mental institution, and they're calling it TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome. If passed, this bill will literally claim you to be insane if you take issue with any of Donald Trump's policies, saying that you are now deranged. While TDS, or Trump Derangement Syndrome, is not a medically recognized diagnosis, it will be recognized in the state of Minnesota if this bill passes. If you speak out for any reason, you can end up in a mental institution. Now, that's not hyperbole, so according to Minnesota law, a concerned party just has to say, hey, this person seems to be deranged. Under the new law, you would then be able to be prosecuted with TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome, and incarcerated in a mental institution for up to 6 months. And that can be extended should you no longer come out being part of the Trump cult. This is just another way that that the government is trying to suppress anyone who goes against Donald Trump.
But here's the kicker. Trump isn't just running the country. He's got a chokehold on the media, too. If a journalist so much as raises an eyebrow in skepticism, boom, suppressed, sidelined, or conveniently discredited. It's like North Korea's PR team got a side gig in Washington. Major networks, they've either bent the knee or learned to tread lightly, because the cost of speaking out is higher than the latest gas prices.
There is a number of issues black communities in America raise alarm about them, but white people never took serious on them. Now it's affecting them. And it's hitting on them so hard, and now they are regretting. Now they are seeing or experiencing what black people or people of color have been going through for so long. On today's video, I'm featuring this lady, white American, who she's a Jew. On social media, she's called Sims Book. On YouTube, Sims Book. I've seen on Gram, Sims Book, and TikTok. She has done a video where she is saying how America is it right now, and they had a chance to speak up. They had a chance to stand and defend, but because they were scared and they were silent, now it's affecting them right now. That's the video we are going to react on it today. It's a very good video, and shout out to Sims Book. Now, Sims Book has made this video, and it has related to a number of things that black people or black community have been going through for so long, and they raise alarm. When you talk about issues that's happening inside the country of America, it's a lot that black people have been complaining, and right now it's affecting both white people. First of all, before we continue, let's watch this clip, and then we'll come back here and talk about it.
White U.S. citizens, let's talk. You're afraid right now. These are scary times. And y'all have been telling me about your fears in comments and DMs for over 17 months now. But here's the thing about fears that you may have noticed, and I think this is true both personally and on a societal level. The more you run away from a fear, the scarier it gets. See, 17 months ago, when the US government started mass murdering children in front of us, you started telling me about your fears that if you said things like mass murdering kids is bad and it should stop, you were afraid that your Jewish coworker would think you were anti-Semitic. Fears about your reputation prevented you from saying genocide bad. In the enormous panopticon of things there are to be afraid of, that was a little fear. Quite honestly, I think you should have had the courage to overcome it. Some of you legitimately had a little bit more of a mid-sized fear. You were afraid you would lose your job if you said genocide is bad. Now, in spite of those fears, tens of thousands of people found the courage to say it anyways. Genocide bad. But unfortunately, not the majority of us. Not enough. And when you let a tiny fear, like the fear of your reputation and things being awkward with a coworker, get in the way of you speaking out against mass murder, you were handing the powerful people in this country fascism on a silver platter. You were saying, I'm so obedient. I'm such a fucking sheep that you can kill kids right in front of me and I won't say mum in case it makes things socially awkward with a coworker. We could have mass boycotted entire businesses into oblivion, which would have stopped all this in its tracks, but instead y'all said, no, I like my yummy, sugary pistachio cream coffee more than I care about the bombing of hospitals. And when you did that, you were handing fascism to the powerful elites in this country on a silver platter. And if you notice, because those little and mid-sized fears scared people enough into silence, now the fears have gotten quite scarier. In fact, now if you say mass murdering kids is bad, genocide is bad, there's a very real threat of deportation and arrest if you're a non-white, non-US citizen. That is the very real situation right now for Mahmoud Khalil, Rumeisa Ozturk, and Mohsen Madawi, who have all been arrested by ICE for saying mass killing kids is bad, bombing hospitals is bad, genocide is bad. But this video is for white US citizens. And look, I know we're all sick to death of this poem, but it is instructive, right? And it is telling us how fascism progresses. And in this case, the identity groups might not be exactly the same. In this case, it's first they came for the immigrants. And us, US white citizens, including Jews like me, all us white US citizens, we're at the bottom. We're still protected by our whiteness and our citizenship for now. And I'm fully aware that Donald Trump wants to be able to arrest and disappear and probably torture and probably just execute without any due process anybody who looks at him funny. But right now we're in a situation where we've had these sort of structural privileges for some people that protect them from things like that. And those structural privileges are going to take a while for him to erode. So right now we're like the frogs sitting in a pot of water and they're slowly turning up the heat. And they're saying, whose disappearances are we going to just be cool with and ignore like we've ignored the mass murder of Palestinian children? They're seeing who can we dehumanize and how much, right? What can we get away with? And so they're going after immigrants, people with foreign sounding last names, Arab people who are among the most dehumanized in US society, particularly ever since 9/11. Hell, they straight up disappeared Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He wasn't even one of the ones saying genocide bad. His only crime is literally just being Latino. And they've disappeared him into a torture industrial-sized prison in El Salvador where he may never see the light of day again. And there's no fucking plan at this point to bring him back. And are we, as a populace, gonna just accept that? If we fail to mass mobilize right now for Kilmar and Mahmoud and Rumeisa and Mohsen, I guarantee you it is a matter of time until it's someone you love or you yourself getting disappeared. That's where we're at, and it is scary. But the point of this poem is, this is a haltable process, and it's much easier to halt it here at the top of the poem than at the bottom of the poem when you have no allies left. We are white US citizens. We have the most protection, and it's time to nut up and be out in front saying things like genocide bad, free Kilmar, free Mahmoud and Rumeisa and Mohsen, bring all the deportees home. We need to be out in front with our privilege, because this is the moment that determines whether we're going to be part of the resistance or we're going to be a passive Nazi. Those are the only two choices. This is the moment in your lives. Find your courage, Because even if you're not compelled by like morality, like even if you're not bothered by, seeing people mass murdered, seeing fathers disappeared from their families separated, people killed unjustly, bombed, trapped under the rubble, screaming, hospitals getting bombed. Even if none of that bothers you one little bit, find your courage out of self-interest. Even if you're a total hedonist and you live solely for your own pleasure, life's gonna get a lot less pleasurable under fascism. What do you think it's gonna be like when they've locked up all the queers and there's mandatory megachurch attendance every Sunday? Even if you think, I don't care about kids in Palestine, I don't care about queer people, I don't care about any of that liberal shit, you might care when it comes to the fact that these people want to take away the ability for women to sign up for a credit card or have a bank account in their own name. Even if you're a white cis het man and you think, I don't even care about that. Guess what? Even if you spend your life scrambling to lick every single boot that comes from your neck, one day you might not scramble fast enough and cheerfully enough, and you'll find yourself getting disappeared. And there will be no one left to give a shit or fight for you. So white US citizens out in front. It's free Kilmar, Mohsen, Rumesa, and Mahmoud. It's genocide bad. I wrote a whole book of words for you. If you don't have the words to say it, you can just copy mine. Every disappearance, every day that goes by, it will get harder to resist fascism. When did you think that resisting fascism was going to be easy or not scary? People have been asking me, aren't you scared? Aren't you scared to go on your book tour? Aren't you scared to be having this book come out at this time in history? The thing that scares me most is y'all's silence, y'all's fear, the fear of white US citizens that keeps you quiet in the face of such overwhelming injustice. It is your fear I'm scared of so much more than anything Donald Trump wants to do to me. I got 3 kids. I don't want to be separated from my babies. I don't want to be arrested, but I don't want them to live in this fucking world that we're headed towards. Use your voice. Use public speech. Publicly say that you are against genocide and that you are against mass deportations and that you are specifically against deporting people for saying that genocide is bad. Publicly speak about it. Write an op-ed, post it to social media, get out to a protest, and make your voice heard. And if you're having trouble finding the words or finding the courage, I really do recommend this book. I wrote it for you for this explicit purpose. I know it's weird to do book promo in this context, but this is the capitalist hell world that we're in. So tell me in the comments, how are you going to use your voice publicly to draw a line in the sand and demand the release of our comrades?
I just got a call from my work and they let me know that I was getting laid off today. And so I was laid off from work today. And it's a lot. Like, there's the fires going on in LA. My birthday just happened a few days ago. I thought this was going to be my year. And I just got laid off. I've been at this company for over 6 years. And, I don't even know what to do. Obviously, I have to file for unemployment. I'm just in shock. But here's the biggest thing. A few months ago, I filed a sexual assault investigation at work because something happened. And around December, they finally finished the investigation. And they really didn't do anything. And, a month later, here I am getting let go. And I just feel like this seems very fishy. And I don't know too much about the law. But if there's any lawyers on here, and if somebody can help me, if I have a case here, let me know. But yeah, I don't know what to do.
This is what I'm struggling with in America right now in my 20s. Why is everything so expensive? Why am I making more money waitressing than I would make using my college degree? I barely have a life. I have 2 days off and I work Wednesday to Sunday, doubling just to pay my bills. At 22 years old, all of my bills are in my name. I have no help. How are y'all affording housing? In Myrtle Beach, a 1-bedroom apartment is $1,500. Bullshit. How are y'all getting insurance, going to the doctor, getting medicine? And then some of us are trying to be TikTok influencers. Who knows where that's gonna get me? Me and my boyfriend are saving, but we barely see each other during the week, and it feels like we're working our asses off for nothing. Do we need to move somewhere for a better job opportunity that we don't know about? Do any of y'all really know what you want to do with your life right now? It is so scary being in America right now. If you can relate to this, if you have any advice, please comment and let me know. It's ridiculous.
We are very, very seriously starting to consider leaving the United States, and I just want to hear from someone who's done it. Where did you go? How did you decide that's where you're going? How did you get a visa? Do all of that? Just, I'm definitely like researching on my own, but like if there was someone I could connect with who's done this before, like I just would love to utilize you as a resource, and yeah, if we can help one another, please.
Welcome back. Apart from what Sim's book has talked about, there's a number of things, starting from police brutality. The police are violent, police are militarized and racial biased. Black people are saying those things. Police are, we are being targeted, harassed and killed. But white people ignored this. Ignored it, saying that black people are exaggerating, and they were saying just comply. But right now, white protesters, especially back then during BLM, were tear-gassed, kettled, or beaten during peaceful protest. That was just a bit of it. It was just a small taste of it. But black people have been killed on this protest. Black people have been tear-gassed more in a peaceful protest. Some of them captured and jailed because of testing for your own rights. And more white people are getting caught up into the aggressive militarized police response to protest, drugs, and poverty. And surveillance and tech policing like facial recognition are now expanding beyond black communities. Right now, even some white people are under surveillance. When you talk about police brutality, even white people are going through that shit right now. We may talk about surveillance and government overreach. Black people said the government is spying on us. But, white people ignored or dismissed it, saying that it's a conspiracy theory. Right now, everyone is being tracked through phones, social media, facial recognition. Whistleblowers like Snowden and major data leaks proved mass surveillance is real and global. And these are the things that black people complained about it. I'm just naming some of the things black people have been complaining: healthcare inequality and environmental racism. It has been an issue to black community. The neighborhood of black community were being polluted for so long. The water is toxic, and the health access in the black community has been trashed all along. But white people have been ignoring, saying that it's unlikely coincidence. Just move on. But right now, Flint's water crisis exposed deep infrastructure racism, and it still hasn't been fully resolved. Poor white rural communities are now facing similar neglect, hospital closures, poisoned water. During COVID-19 hit, black and brown communities first and hardest, but white rural areas followed with high mortality. When a certain disaster hit, that's where you will know that this thing can affect even the white people. When you talk about economic inequality, black people say the system is rigged. They can't build wealth. In jobs, there is a lot of job discrimination, but they were told just work harder. They were told the American dream is real, working hard, learning hard, going to school, and get the best job. But right now, young white people like millennials and Gen Zs are facing the same systematic barriers: student debt, unaffordable housing, job instability. The middle class is shrinking for everyone. It's not only for the black people, but for the white people. The economy is too bad on them. But these are the things that they could have These are the things that they could have handled back then. But because of this thing of a supremacy and a privilege, they ignored. And ignoring of these issues, it's eating them up right now. And the children's of their children will suffer more because the parents did not prevent this from happening. Education disparities. Black folks say that their schools they were underfunded, overcrowded, and treated like pipelines to prisons. But white people say this: it must be bad parenting or culture. White people termed it as bad parenting. But right now, a public school get defunded across the board. More white families are also seeing their kids in struggling schools. Books are being banned. Curriculum restrictions and attacks on education, like banning crucial race theory. And it's now affecting everyone access to quality learning. White people too are being affected, and they cannot access to quality learning because when black people complained, them they were enjoying, but right now they ain't enjoying. Both of them are crying. Now, that's why you saw white people on the street on April 5th and of protest, simply because what Trump is trying to do, black people have been going through this for so long. And the fact that black people did not go to the street does not mean that black people are happy with what is going on. That just means black people are tired of marching. They are tired of going to the street and no one is doing anything. So let's see if white people go to the street, if things will change. Because black people have been going to the street and as their bodies have been used as barriers. They have been in front line getting the bitter punishment, the first-hand tear gas, but nothing has really happened. And that's why black people decided, you know what? We have been doing this shit for so long. Let's stay home and see what's going to happen. And white Americans right now, as Sims book has said, you need to stand up. That's the only thing. Because if you keep on depending on black people, you'll be disappointed because black people have said enough is enough. If we go to the street, nothing happens. If we stay, nothing happens. So let's do what? Let's stay home. Because we can no longer keep on dying for the things that they are not being taken care of. So a number of times black people or white people are regretting for not listening to black people. White people are regretting for not getting the points of black people or understanding what black people are saying. And this come because of the privilege they got, because they think everything is okay on them. And when they see something like what Sims has said, the massacre and the everything, they can't just open up. They keep quiet and saying, oh, this is not for us. It's for brown people, for black people. They keep quiet. But when it's affecting the community, it's affecting both of them. Some are chosen out of their job because they didn't even know they are working under DEI. Now, DEI is being removed to maybe to punish black people, but you as white people, you are caught on this. So I may say it is time for white people to understand and to know that the elite and the rich people are the one who are running this country of America. So the better you know you and black people are in the same boat, the earlier you will save your country. Tell me what you think on the comments about this video. Until next episode, peace out. Like each and every time I see black people fighting for justice, injustices that is going on, and I see some communities are standing on the sidelines just looking and watching, saying this is not ours. You people are too much. You are exaggerating. You are just work hard, get a job, and everything will be okay. Now, white people are crying. They are. I've seen videos. I've shown you videos of white people crying because it is too much on them. The country is burning with them. And as I always say, white supremacy, as far as it's affecting black people, but it's affecting white people too, so much. Mentally, physically, so much. Because let me tell you an example. You have your mother is a caterer in a event. You as his child, you're going there and you see your mother, she's the one giving out food, and you are just happy. I will get it. I must get it, and I must get it. 2 plates, 3 plates of food. And then you are there, you are being told, go to the line like others. You are like, oh, God damn it, this is my mom. You are being told, go and wash your own plate. You are being told there is no enough plate, go and look for them. And you are like, mom, give just. So there is this trauma. Again, you are given small food and you are expecting to be given food like any other or more. It is traumatizing. It is so hard. And that's why I'm saying white supremacy is like this mom. But right now, she doesn't care about you. You and the others, you are being treated same. There is somehow you won't understand what's happening. You get these mental health issues. You get the trauma. You curse because the one you suppose that he or she will help you is no longer with you. And black people have been fighting systematic injustice for so long. Some white people are just smiling on the sidelines, saying nothing, saying as long as we are not racist, we are okay. But literally they know that the things they are doing, one day it will come on them. Now, right now, black people are standing on the sideline. we ain't protesting because we have been doing this. It is tough. And this toughness, it's because white people have been ignoring. Some of the things that white people have been ignoring, if they could stand up with the black people back then, no one will be speaking about economic issues. No one will be speaking about there's no job opportunities. Because right now, Americans are crying because less jobs, or you need to work more hours so that you can get money. One said, it's only 2 months. White people are crying. White people are regretting. White people wish that they could listen to black people. But black people have been on this problem for decades. Since 1619, black people have been there. And sometimes I give accolade to black Americans. You have suffered. When I hear your story, when I read your story, you have really suffered. Fighting for voting rights, fighting for women's, fighting for gender equality, fighting for health care, fighting for education disparities, fighting for etc., etc. The list is so long. And at the end of the day, what you get is that erasure of the history. You get deported, no respect, being racist towards you. I tell you words. It is somehow terrifying. And black people, black Americans, you are the guys. You've been fighting for so long. Africans are in the United States right now enjoying because of what you fought for. And I cannot deny that. So tell me what you think in the comment section about this video. Until next episode, peace out.